Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. We have some news, but before we get into that, I just want to take a minute and remind you guys to make sure that if you do like this kind of content, that you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell next to it to be notified of any videos that I do release so you can keep up to date on everything dinosaur related and prehistoric related here on the channel. And also, make sure you hit that thumbs up button because every time you do that, it helps the channel out greatly. So anyway, on with the news. The very first thing I want to show you guys, and thanks to my good friend Caitlin Van Huss for pointing this out to me, but there are actually some really cool dinosaur skeletal reconstructions created by a company that is called Wonder Artistic Models, or at least I believe that's the name of the company. She recently pointed these out to me on Facebook, and they are really cool 3D puzzle recreations of many different species of not only dinosaurs, but you can also see other species of like pterosaur and everything included here. And the models actually look really cool. Like, they definitely look really well done, and they've chosen some pretty darn nice looking species overall to recreate, not just your average, kind of generic dinosaur skeletal reconstructions. They actually have some really cool looking species included here, and they overall, for being like 3D model kits, have an incredibly high quality appearance to them, even creating some that you can include into kind of like a diorama with each other like we see with the Allosaurus and Stegosaurus. So definitely some really cool stuff. If you are interested in this, I will include a link in the description to where you can check them out on Facebook. And then as far as the beasts of the Mesozoic line, we get a really good look at the upcoming Tyrannosaurus Rex from the Tyrannosaur series. This is the 1/35th scale version, and it obviously is unpainted. It's just recently been put together to give us a few images of it prior to painting and give us a really good look at the model overall, and man, does it look incredible. Easily one of, if not the best, Tyrannosaurus Rex models out there, which I had no doubt that it would be just that. You can even see some images next to the subadult 1/18th scale Triceratops, again to give you a little bit of a size comparison, and even an image in hand you can see here to also give, again, a little more of a comparison as far as the size goes for the figure, but I think it just looks incredible, and I cannot wait to see it painted up very soon. And the next thing I have are actually the color schemes of the upcoming Rebor Smilodon models. We do have two different color schemes that have been revealed to us. No word yet on if there will be more than that, but two so far, and one of which, as you can see from this one right here, is obviously very He-Man oriented. And personally, I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm not overly excited about the coloration because I'm not generally a huge fan of He-Man, so it's not something that really calls out to me, and not really something I really want to pick up. However, I will say that there will definitely be a market for this, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are really interested in picking this paint version up. The alternate paint scheme, however, I really quite like, and that's this one that we can see here, which I think that this alternate paint scheme looks very realistic, very lifelike, and definitely a lot more natural than the previous one that we've seen here, although I don't think that the previous one, obviously being kind of a He-Man throwback, isn't exactly something that's meant to look realistic and lifelike. It's just a really cool ode to He-Man, but this one definitely looks beautiful if you ask me, a lot more realistic and generally an incredible looking Smilodon, probably one of the best that I've ever seen. And even though there are two different color schemes, you can see that there are also two different versions for each color scheme with a open mouth and closed mouth version. So definitely some really cool stuff here, and I'm absolutely going to be picking up both the open mouth and closed mouth version of this one right here. And we also had another PNSO model get revealed, and boy is it ever a beauty. This is Jeff the Kronosaurus. It is a 1/35th scale model, and it will actually be up for pre-sale on June 2nd for the Chinese market, but it will be available on the Amazon PNSO store at the end of July, and of course it would also be available from Dan's Dinosaurs and Everything Dinosaur in the near future as well. But this model is gorgeous if you ask me, and quickly has risen to one of my most anticipated from PNSO because the overall appearance is super lifelike on the model, but the sculpt is incredibly well done. Really nice looking pose. It looks very big and bulky and very intimidating looking and also sports a really nice natural looking color scheme, which I really love as well. So this is definitely one that's at the top of my list as far as very much so anticipated PNSO models. This thing looks just drop dead gorgeous, and just another of the mountain of PNSO models that I intend on including into my collection as soon as they release. And then also, as far as PNSO goes, there was also this image that was kind of making the rounds. I believe Paleo Nerd broke this image, and it's obviously showing a really cool looking Triceratops. However, I don't really have any information on it at all. I don't know if this will be a release, and if it is, what line it will be a part of, or when it will be releasing. No news has been released so far from PNSO, so that's something we'll just have to keep an eye out for, because I think it's gorgeous and I would love to get my hands on one of these, but I guess we'll just have to wait until we can learn more about it. And then as far as Mattel goes, and thanks to Collect Jurassic for these initial images, we have a few different Amber Collection figures that have just recently been revealed. The very first one that we can see here is Ellie Satler. It is nice to see some new humans entering the Amber Collection line, as we have recently had a revamped, I guess you could say, Ian Malcolm, which was pretty much just a very minor release as far as that Ian Malcolm goes. I was really hoping for like a Lost World style version, but we didn't get that quite yet. But it's nice to see an Ellie Satler figure here, and I think it really does look really beautiful overall. They've done a great job of capturing the likeness, of course, of Laura Dern, Ellie Satler, and including some really cool extras in the set as well, like they always do, really capturing the likeness of Ellie from Jurassic Park. And then we also have a look at John Hammond, which is super awesome, because John Hammond is definitely one that I'm really psyched about overall to finally get a release, and I think they've done a phenomenal job on Hammond as well, really perfectly capturing the overall appearance of Hammond. You can see from the image right here, I definitely think they've done a good job on the head sculpt, and as well as the extras, you can see a really cool hatching raptor egg, which obviously is a beautiful throwback to Jurassic Park. So two absolutely phenomenal Amber Collection releases that are on the way. And we also have a look at one other Amber Collection release, and these images are actually thanks to Big Bad Toy Store, where I had found these, but we have a look at the upcoming Dimorphodon 2-pack. And I think that Mattel has done an incredible job on these. I was really psyched to see these after seeing just how gorgeous the Pteranodon was. While I can definitely see that looking at these images, both of these Dimorphodon look phenomenal. It's nice to see so much articulation in them. It's kind of hard to tell if the Dimorphodon that's kind of on the ground actually has the articulation in the wings like we had seen with the Pteranodon, that kind of wire type of articulation in the wings. I don't really know for sure, because all of the images kind of show this one Dimorphodon flying and then the other one kind of standing, so I'm not sure if that's the reason for two different Dimorphodon, if they're actually both in different poses, or if they're both, you know, just the same figure, but you get two of them because the Dimorphodons kind of usually are in like a flock, and you can just articulate both. I'm not entirely sure, as these images aren't obviously all that specific as far as what's going on with the figures, but it does give us enough information and enough imagery to know that they look beautiful, and it is fantastic to have yet another really cool species entering the Amber Collection line, and not just more velociraptors like we've had about 1 billion of already. So as of right now, guys, that's all the news I've got. When more comes out, I'll be sure to send it your way, but until then, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.